Data collection. This task is undertaken to extract the data, to curate the data, to collect the data in line with your business objectives. Usually what people do is, right, they get hold of the data from various data warehouses, data marts, data lakes. All these are different terms for putting all the data in a single forum, right? You might want to go and extract the data from open source databases. You might want to conduct surveys, experiments, simulations, all sorts of things to get the data. And you need to create a detailed document to keep track of all the various data sets which you are using for your analysis. Okay, so here we go. Data is singular form of datum. Datum means plural, right? Latin word for given. Data is a measure which in turn is used for analysis, which in turn is used for modeling, which in turn is used for building prediction models, which in turn is used for optimization, which in turn is used for management decision making. That's data. Data is not something that you have access to, right? After prediction, the next phase is optimization. You're predicting on what should be the insurance premium, for example. Here you're saying, given the constraints that I need to meet certain profit, how best should I price premium, insurance premium? That's what we are interested in. That's optimization all about. You might predict the mileage of a vehicle. However, what should be the best combination of horsepower, volume, weight of a vehicle? And the constraint is that horsepower should not be more than certain point. BHP should be less than some number. It's country specific. Given those constraints, how should I adjust these three such that I get the maximum mileage? That's optimization problem, right? Prediction is you're predicting, but optimization is actually used for making management decisions. Okay. There are two ways of collecting the data, or two data sources. One is called as primary data source, means data which is collected at source. You're collecting the data now, you don't have it. So how do you collect the data? Using surveys, or by performing some experiments, or by conducting the interviews, by conducting focus groups. Focus groups means, okay, I'll give you a basic example. If you have an organization, you'll have HR department, you'll have finance department, you'll have logistics, you'll have sales, so on and so forth, right? Say you're implementing SAP, or say you're implementing data warehouse across your organization. You'll first go to the HR department, and then you'll collect all the requirements pertaining to HR. You're focusing on a specific group. Then you go to finance department, you focus on that group, and then collect all the requirements. So that's called as focus group basically. Anyways, and then simulations, or maybe you might want to do some purchase to get the data, right? Syndicated data sources. So this is costly. If I send you a survey and ask you to fill a survey, would you fill that? No. You would say, what is in it for me? Why do I need to fill? It's costly. And we need to send survey questionnaire again and again, right? So it is time consuming. And when people fill the surveys, they might say A, B, D, C, randomly they might select. There is chance that you might get low quality. until and unless you define your survey questionnaire very well. Okay, data validation techniques are important here, or survey validation techniques. But the good part is that these two are the flip sides or the cons. Pro is that whatever data you need, you get exactly that data for your analysis. Okay, and I can give you a high level example here. There was a company called as Evolve or Ease, right? These folks have done some work in the space of determining which of the employees are suitable for their job. And they wanted to collect a lot of data from that particular, from the people who come for interviews, person one, person two, person three, in that way. And they knew for a fact that if they directly ask such questions, they will not answer. Such as, do you shout at your employees when work is not done? Obviously, everyone will say no, right? But how do I capture, say, anger management? For example, there is a score, assume for that. And maybe the organization that you're working with wants people who are very aggressive to get the job done. Then there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions, maybe survey questions. And for each question, you'll have to rate on a scale of say 1 to 5. Right? Directly, I cannot ask your anger management. Everyone will say I'm as cool as Mahendra Singh Dhoni, right? But no one will say I'm as aggressive as Virat Kohli, right? So not many. So uh, the questions were carefully crafted, and if you say rated 3 for this, 2 for this, 5 for this, and 5 for this, then they started taking average of all these numbers. Okay, so 15 by 4 would be somewhere around 4 approximately. So the answer for this would be 4. So the beauty is that when you conduct a survey and when you use such a scale, which is called as Likert scale, you can actually get the data for your variables directly, which will then be used for your prediction. Output variable is, will a person be suitable for the job or not? Yes or no? Yes, no, no, in that way, right? You have the data output. And this happens to be one of your input. Say you didn't have access to the data. How did you capture that? By conducting a survey, by carefully crafting your questionnaire and your Likert scale, you could get this data. So you get exact data needed for your analysis when you do primary data source, or when you try to collect the data using primary data collection mechanism. All right. Then the first thing is you have to first look at secondary data sources. While the name says primary and secondary data sources mean data which is already available both internally in your organization and externally elsewhere. Sales records. Sales that are happening, obviously the data would be there with your organization internally. Industry reports are external. Enterprise resource planning system like SAP, etc., would be internal to you. Customer relationship management database, financial risk management database, hospital management database, hospital management system, warehouse management system. All these would store the data, right? And data of your organization or activities. And these data sources have data which is already available. You can resort to open source databases also. Okay. The good thing is it is easily available. Quickly you can access the data. It doesn't cost you much because it's already available. However, the flip side is it may or may not have the data of interest. You may or may not find the data of your interest in your databases. And if you do not find the relevant data in your data sources, then you resort to primary data source. Very, very important to remember this. Okay. And once you are clear with this, many things will become clear.